What's up, guys? Here with another video. Today, guys, I thought we'd go through and we would react to Brittany getting laid off from Cloudflare. This video has been pretty going viral on, she posted her original video, I believe it's on TikTok, and this is what someone uploaded to YouTube. There's a few other people react to it. So I thought I would give my thoughts as a customer service manager, the things that I've seen as far as like customer service goes, when these type of things happen, and kind of add my 2 cents and give my perspective for you guys that are in the customer service industry. With that being said, guys, let's go ahead and dive in. If you guys are interested in hearing more about customer service, work from home, personal development, finances, that's mostly what I talk about on this channel. With that being said, guys, let's go ahead and dive into the video. And that's always like the first red alert, guys. When you guys get like, every company does it different, of course, but for some companies, right, it's like a quick invite that's like last minute, or they're pulling groups of people, especially with customer service. Usually, like I know when we like lost the site in town when I worked on site for customer service. As a customer service manager, like we're pulling in groups of people and nobody was allowed to talk about the meeting. So if you've seen like all these herds of people, especially when it comes to customer service, and especially if you're working on site, of going into this meeting and coming out and no one's saying nothing about it, it's been real hush hush. That's probably what's happening. Like in my case, the site was closing, so that's what was hush hush. Like 500 plus people were losing their jobs, essentially. So stuff like that's a real quick red flag that something's going down and that's not going to be good.
Brittany?
Hi.
Yes, I'm so sorry. My name's Rosie. I'm just joining the call. Nice to meet you. I'm on the HR team.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi.
Thanks for me.
And that's the downside of this, like, and like she's got her little captions, and I sorry to keep pausing, but I just want to keep breaking down. When these meetings are usually done, a lot of this times I would say that's done on purpose, right? So this way it's easier for them, right? Because essentially what's happened is your name or your number is essentially come up on a spreadsheet or somewhere you don't want to be seen, and I can make other videos about this as well, guys. Let me know down below. But that's essentially what happened, and they're just here to basically check your name off. To her point, as she gets in later on, it's just more of it's a very inhumane process, and hopefully that's a lot of what I'm really trying to get like started as far as like a motion or a movement, so to speak, really with my channel, is stuff really resonating with, which is another reason why I wanted to react to this video here on the channel, because it resonates a lot. Happened with mine. If you guys haven't checked out my termination, it's very similar to her situation as well.
Meeting with me and Rosie. We have an important meeting today. We finished our evaluations of 2023 performance. This is where you have not met Cloudflare expectations for performance. We've decided to part ways with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop you right there.
Sure.
So I started August 25th. I've been on a 3-month ramp, and then it was 3 weeks of December, and then a week of Christmas, and then here we are. I have had the highest activity amongst my team. Since I've started, I have had 3 contracts out, done a really great job managing my deals up until the very end that decided not to close last minute. So I don't think that makes a lot of sense for me in my Cloudflare journey here so far. Also,
so things like this, guys, when stuff like this happens, they like, and I definitely resonate where she's coming from, just from my experience yet again as being as a manager. Uh, Unfortunately, companies like this are really, especially these big companies, right? For the company I work with, over 170,000 employees. I don't know how many companies Cloudflare has or had before they started laying all these people off, but obviously it looks like they overhired people. So even though, like, right, even though she hasn't really had much time to perform, they don't care, because at the end of the day they look at, hey, it's been a quarter, it's been 30, 60, 90 days, whatever it may be, 6 months later, whatever the time is, they're going by the time. They don't care, like in this case, the holidays and things come back up, because I've worked directly with clients, my years of experience with customer service, and I can tell you they don't care about the holidays. They're not using that excuse for you not meeting like handle time, sales goals, all this other, right, you're not hitting KPIs. They don't care about the holidays and stuff like that. They just go by, hey, you didn't hit the mark yet again, so yet again they're just checking a box. It's very inhumane. Yet again, they're leaving out the human side of the process and the element. And the sad part is a lot of these companies claim to be very people focused, very family oriented, things like that. But when you see stuff like this with her experience and my experience, her experience with Cloudflare and then my experience with Foundever, if you haven't watched my story, definitely consider checking it out, guys. It'll play out at the end of this video. But that's what it is. They say all of that, right, to get you in the door. But once you get in the door, you don't. There's really not that experience. You may have that connection with like your coworkers and stuff like that. There's a very fun, friendly, friendly type vibe and stuff like that. But that's really it. Like between you and like management and like operations or someone like here that's like a director that's doing this type of stuff, you usually have no interaction with them whatsoever. If you do, it's very little. Maybe they do a meeting or something like that that's very general about changes or something, and that's like the only time that you see him once, 2 or 3 years if you're lucky.
Every single one-on-one I've had with my manager, every conversation I've had with him, he has been giving me nothing but I am doing a great job, I have had great activity, I have really great meetings, I'm picking up the products very quickly, and things have been going really, really well. I make really great relationships with my clients. So I disagree that my performance hasn't been, I haven't met performance expectations, when I certainly have, just because I haven't closed anything officially.
I hear you.
And I hate to keep stopping, guys, but I like to give them feedback as we go. And things like this, right, just from yet again a management side of stuff, right, we as managers sometimes could be giving you, and I can't speak obviously for all managers, but a lot of times, right, we're giving you could be, kudos or just saying, hey, you're doing a great job or things like that. And it's not necessarily right you're doing a bad job, right? It could be like you're on the fence or you're not doing bad enough to be a bad job, right? I'm not saying that's the case in her situation whatsoever because obviously we don't know, right? But I've just wanted to add, just kind of to add that in there because sometimes, right, we're doing that to more of to right because it seems like based on the feedback that she gave throughout the video so far that she's right. She was doing it. She's headed in the right direction. She just hasn't got anyone that's landed, right? She's talked to a few clients, but just hasn't officially landed anything. She's got like to like the end of the finish line and just hasn't crossed, so to speak, right?
Also, why are you doing this and not my manager? Not, we've never met, so this seems a little odd that my manager has no idea that this has been happening and the director has no idea that this has been happening.
Yeah, and they do that on purpose,
just
guys.
Definitely confused, and yeah, I would love like an explanation that makes sense.
Because it just makes it easier to get rid
100%.
of you.
Real quick, let me carve out the two threads.
Because right, if you know
the ladder of.
Because right, if you know the person, it's a lot easier for you to talk and de-escalate them down and probably kind of pry your way in to get some sort of leg in to figure out what's going on to try and negotiate or figure out a way to de-escalate the situation. When here, yet again, they're here just to check a box. So once you get to this point, everything she's doing is great. But at this point, they're here yet again just to check you off the box. So they're here to just get you on and off, which is why these meetings, like she's here for like 15 minutes. Usually they're set around 15 to 20 minutes like this because that exact reason. Because when they get done with meeting with her, they've got another person, they've got another basically person lined up to have the same conversation with her. So they're just.
I'm on this conversation. I'll put that one to the second half, and Rosie might be better to explain the process of who's giving this information in the prior piece, which is your feedback and notes about your performance. So let me add a little color context to that. So just for clarification, you are not being singled out in this. Your peers are also being collectively.
That's so stupid to say. That's so stupid to say. You're not being collectively singled out. We singled all you guys out. It's not just you. We just.
On numbers or...
That's just so
can
crazy,
you explain
man.
for me why Brittany Peach is getting let go?
I won't be able to go into specifics for numbers.
And that's just insane,
why,
man.
Though? I just started. I've been working extremely hard. Just because I haven't closed anything that has nothing to do with my performance on a 3-month ramp with just 1 month with 2 major holidays in the middle, I don't think that has anything to do with why I should be let go, if that makes sense. So I really need an answer and an explanation as to why Brittany Peach is getting let go, not why Cloudflare decided to hire too many people and are now actually realizing that they can't afford this many people and they're letting that go. If that's the real answer, I would rather just you tell me that instead of making up some bullshit and telling me that right before I lose my job from someone that I've never met before. If you can respect that.
Yep.
Yeah, I can
And and that's the issue, guys. Right? When they come into these meetings, it's so sad. Is like to her point, she hits it net. Dead on. They're not prepared because right, they really don't plan for any pushback for whatever crazy reason. Thinking right, you're up and destroying people's lives. What do you think people aren't going to push back? Say have questions, concerns. Like they're just right. We're just out here doing this just for the fun of it, right? It's all just it's just all just a game essentially. It's like it's just so yet again it's just so humane the way that they do these type of meetings. I hate stuff like this. Luckily, I've never had to do anything like this because it's very it's just so demoralizing and so unhuman like. Uh, yeah, that's about the best way I can say it. But that's sad that they don't even have that because technically, right, to their and to her point, even more so, right, they're allegedly firing her, not laying her off because of they hired too many people for her point, right? This, which she's kind of alluding to, which is probably really the case why they're getting rid of all these people and not really performance standards. Because right, with especially with companies like this, like for mine, I can say usually for us, depending on the account that we have agents on, usually it's around 20, especially with inflation. I would say probably around $20,000 to $30,000 just for us to onboard you, to hire you, to go through running all the ads, the recruiter to talk to you, you to go through training, take the phone calls, and actually come out. It takes us about 6, probably with inflation, probably it used to be around 6, probably with inflation around 8 to 9 months, I would say, to just break even on you. So she's only worked here, we'll say 3, going on like maybe close to 4 months. So they've nowhere near made their money back on her, any of these other people, to the point she's alluding to. More than likely, they're laying them off because they hired too many people, and they're probably just not seeing right. They have the work or the revenue coming in to afford them, which to me leads me more than likely she's correct. Right, they're getting rid of them not for performance, they're getting rid of them due to revenue, and they're probably doing it. I don't know if they have stock, if they have if they're on the stock exchange, and that could be another reason, right? If they're on the stock exchange, they could be doing something like that to make it like, hey, we're laying off these people because of right, bad performance, not because hey we don't have money coming in because of investors, right? So that's another thing to look at too. I don't know if they're on the stock exchange, but that's a good interesting uh, perspective to check out, because if they are doing that, right, they could be misleading this to keep their stock from plummeting, things of that nature. Something else to think about.
Totally respect that, and I don't think Dom or myself today is going to give you any clarity or answers that's going to meet the expectations that you're communicating to us, Brittany. So I can't speak to.
So am I getting let go for no reason?
I love
If you guys
unless
could
she's
give
like
me
me, she's
reason.
just very direct.
I'm happy to follow up with you separately to give you the data that was calibrated. I'll need to speak with revenue leadership specifically.
And they're never going to
see
give you
if
a
we can
direct
get
answer,
that for you.
unfortunately.
But
She did a good
Dom,
job
Can
by
you
asking.
share that
have
with me
that
now?
in our meeting. I cannot share that with you right now, unfortunately. Yeah, it's understandable how you feel and your frustration. Cannot stress that enough.
I have been working extremely hard. I just knew that this meeting was coming after knowing what's been happening with my peers and how extremely frustrated and upset everyone is. I know you guys must not be able to understand that given in the positions that you are in, and it must be very easy for you to just
That's
have
sad,
these 10-minute, 15-minute meetings, tell someone that they're fired, completely wreck their whole life, and then that's it with no explanation. That's extremely traumatizing for people, if you can imagine that. And I don't think that this is, it's just very, very shocking. Very, very shocking. I have really given my whole energy and life over the last 4 months to this job, and to be let go for no reason is like a huge slap in the face from a company that I really wanted to believe in.
Totally understand how you feel that way, why you feel that way. And I'll be honest with you, there's nothing that we're going to say in this call in the time that we have that's going to undo the way that you feel right in this moment. I personally will do everything that I can to give you as much specific information as I can after this call. I can't make any promises. I understand where you're coming from. I can tell you that Dom and I do care. I understand the feeling that
I hate when people say this. This is the part where, like, I'm triggered. I'm kind of reliving my moment going through this, unfortunately, along with her. Like, saying that you care and then you're right, you have nothing to, right? She's really deduced everything down, right? You've deduced them down to a number on a spreadsheet and not a person. Like, don't say that you care and you obviously don't care. Like, stuff like that just really sets me off. Just coming from my, like, experience that I've got really shared with her, in similar situations. It's It's tough, man. It's tough. Like, I don't say you could say that to somebody, like telling that you care after you've just done this and you've done nothing to show that you care. Right? You're not prepared. Right? Hey, we're firing you for performance. Well, great. What? Great. What have I do? What was wrong with my performance? What was I lacking in performance wise? Right? Because to my knowledge, the discussion with my manager, right, to the point she's pointing out, right, we've had no conversations like that I'm struggling with performance. So if you care so much about me, right, I'm asking these questions, you should have had this information available from the start. Then by them not having that information and then also refuse it to provide and then continue through the process shows that they don't care. So it's crazy to say that you care because obviously you don't. Your actions have already shown that you don't care. You saying that you care does not mean shit to us, right? That we're already done at this point. You already proved that you don't care. We're done, right? The conversation's over, and that's kind of where we're at here. It's like, where do we go from here? Because like after the call, nothing's going to be done, guys. Like even with my situation, because I knew I was getting nothing done. Like she's here, and I was doing really good stuff, and she's done a really good job. And I haven't mentioned this yet of really keeping your emotions in check going through this. If that's something you guys would like to talk about, like going through an experience like this, because my experience was exactly like this as well, except I was getting fired instead of laid off in the situation and wrongfully terminated that. They accused me of something I didn't even do. But if you guys would like me to go down how she did like this and how I handled myself in my interview to get more information to fire back, and also I used that information to win my unemployment because what they had fired me for, I technically would have been ineligible for unemployment. So they not only got rid of me from my job, they also were going to keep me from getting unemployment as well. So if you want me to talk more about that, how to handle those type of situations, it could maybe not even be getting fired, but just difficult situations, maybe with your manager that's kind of heated or that's escalated, right? Let me know if that's something you guys like me to discuss in another video.
You have right now, and I can't change that. So I'll just be honest.
But why can't but you guys have still not given me a reason why I'm being let go.
Yep. You love it just like it's quiet. I think it's dead silent because they don't know what to say.
Positive praise from my manager, great meetings that I'm having. The
and
amount of activity that I have has all been positive. I have not received any negative inclination. I have not been put on a performance improvement plan. Nothing. So.
And that's because these guys never get pushback, guys. And that's why they can't speak to it.
Communicated to you directly.
But that should be the indication of
poor performance based on your attainment and leading indicators of data. That is the rationale.
But I've been here for only a month after ramping, and that was during a holiday. So I don't understand can you explain what those performance metrics are? Or is that just like
they should at least been able to explain that.
Vague term to give to everyone that you're speaking to today?
I'll say that the performance indicators and performance metrics are, while we're not able to go into specifics, and there's no situation where we will be able to go into.
Do you guys even know like why, like who you're talking to each day? Like every single 10, 15 minutes, do you guys even know who you're talking to? Like why you're
like we talked about earlier, the answer is no, they don't. They really don't
even understand like the kind of work and everything that they've put in.
Nope, they have no idea. They honestly don't.
I hear you and what you're saying.
It just doesn't make any sense that you guys have still not been able to give me a reason why I'm being let go.
Just from a process perspective, your questions are valid. This isn't going to be the.
I love how he says from a process perspective, not from a personal standpoint or a human standpoint. Something like that to improvise, a process standpoint. Yet again, like everything that they do is so unhumane, right? It's so dehumanizing. It makes no sense for you to say some stuff like that, like before the HR person, we care. Well, everything you're showing you don't care. Like the statements and the word choices you're using, right? It shows itself that you don't care, and you can tell yet again that these people are not used to getting pushback. People are just running with the punches because they know, and she kind of pretty sure already knows too, right? Nothing's going to happen, but she's trying the best she can, like I did, because I knew that was going to happen either. But trying to get more information, because the more information you get out of them guys helps out a lot, especially when you're doing unemployment or you're looking for another job, or maybe you're just trying to emotionally process, really the aftermath after this happens. Because I can tell you, this happened to me like 4 months ago, and I'm still trying to process and get over the trauma because it's just so ridiculous. So I can't imagine how she's doing either.
In a situation where we're able to go into the detail that you're looking for.
But then when? If it's not right as I'm getting fired, it's certainly not going to be after when I'm no longer part of the company.
Yep, and that was my issue too. They weren't. They have no communication, no email.
There's anything we can say in this moment or today, Brittany, that's going to change the way that you feel. And it's understandable. I'm taking notes and feedback, and we'll circle back.
Yeah, I know you did that for Nestle too, but that's
of the meeting. It's not going to change the outcome of the situation today, so it may be best if I do.
And they did this because, right, they could tell they weren't, right, yet again, they're on a time limit, right? They've gotten 15 minutes, and we've watched this start to finish, right? So they're getting close to their 15 minutes, and they know the way that she's going with questions and stuff, that we would be here with Brittany for like 30 minutes. They don't have 30 minutes to spend with Brittany or 20 minutes to spend with Brittany, because at the time of they get done with this, they've got another person to go to have the exact same conversation. So they notice, right, that she's still pushing, right? She's still budging, which she's doing a great job, and what you guys should do too in these type of situations, to try and find out, right, what the hell is going on, and try and dig deeper and keep your emotions in check. She's done a pretty good. She's cried a little bit and been upset, but she's right. She hasn't let it control right, her tone of voice, the way that she talks to them, things like that. She hasn't said anything unprofessional, anything. Right, she's done a really good job of keeping her emotions in check. Still being upset, but right, make sure she's focused on, right, the prize, so to speak, or focus on the objective of figuring out what in the world is what in the world is going on here.
Get into more of the specifics of what the next steps are, because I think it's clear that you have questions that we cannot give answers to, and if you'd be open to it, I'd love to move into what the next steps are, so that you're not.
See, it's crazy they say that, because if you're open to, well, it doesn't matter, like what she just said, you're open to, like, you're giving her a choice without giving her a choice. You're giving her the pre-assumption that she has a choice, but in reality she has no choice. And that's why she's crying yet again, upset, because it's like she knows, like, at this point she's screwed, there's nothing she can do about it. At this point she's done all she can, and they're just going to say, hey, basically just shut up and take it. That's essentially what she's trying to say in a nice way. Just shut up and take it. You're getting fired. There's nothing you can do about it. That's essentially what the HR lady is saying to her right now.
Any further blindsided than you already feel.
okay.
Thank you, Dom. Okay, and I'm really sorry that you're having this experience and feeling this way. One of the things that we want to confirm is your personal email address, because that's where
I'm going to snap on this lady. She keeps saying, oh, good Lord, thank God it ended there. Oh, man. Dude, but there's her TikTok account, guys. If you guys want to go follow her out or check out her video there, and show her some love. But that's ridiculous, man. But it's just so sad to see people treated like this, man. So that's another reason, really, I started this channel, guys, is to help with stuff like this. Because I've always been good at navigating things like this, and then really going through my situation gives me the remaining of the skills that I missed. But unfortunately, the only way to get those skills is going through, really going through at the end and getting stabbed in the back to get them, unfortunately, to get the final part, to figure out what happens. It happens at the end. What happens after you're terminated? What happens if you're, in this case, laid off, or you're wrongfully terminated like I was? And really how to process that emotionally. Where do you go from there? How do you start looking for jobs? How do you explain this to the new employer? How to win your unemployment case? Like, all that stuff comes up. How do you process just how you emotionally feel, right? Because, right, we as humans, right, we're so tied to our jobs, right? That's a portion of you. And she wasn't there for too long, but right, she was there for 4 months. But right, for my job, I was there for almost 12 years. January 7th would have been 12 years. So it's like literally, basically a third of my life, that I'd been at, a little over a third of my life that I'd been at the company where I've been. So it's like literally me as like a third of me is like being ripped out of me and and thrown in the fire. So I can definitely resonate, where she's coming from on this, and then just being so poorly treated, and them keep trying to pretend that they care when obviously they don't care. None of your word choices, none of you haven't shown any empathy. You don't have anything prepared to the meeting, which you did that on purpose. You're going to this, the same thing with the other people that you're going to speak with, not just Brittany that we watched here. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. If there's other videos that you guys, I forgot to mention at the start of the video, if there's other videos you guys would like me to react to, like stuff like this, or just in general, comment the videos down below, or post the link to them, and I'll be more than happy to react to the videos. I thought this would be a good one, too, because it resonates with my personal situation, with her situation that she had been through, so I thought something I would like to share with you guys. With that being said, I appreciate you guys' love and support. Please make sure you guys like the video for the YouTube algorithm, and please make sure you guys get subscribed if you're not already subscribed, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.